Hello, all my unraveled friends. There were two reasons really that compelled me to get on. Now, I am recording this prior to if you guys are going to tune in, by the time that this little video gets uploaded, I will have already done my live with Miss Kathy over at Gossip Rumor and Innuendo. But it was just a couple of things I wanted to touch on. The major one being that love and that support that I've been getting from her and from all of you. But really quick before we go into that, so at this time, after fireworks and after everything had kind of settled in, I was just reading through a bunch of messages from people who knew and loved Karina. Okay. And then not only just from people who knew her, I had messages from outside of that circle, but who were familiar with that circle, that family, that group of friends, and that, all of that. Listen, I need to do this. I need to take the time out right now to acknowledge something. And what I need to acknowledge is I can't change my heart. Listen, I'm watching the trial unfold. I'm listening to the evidence. I'm forming an opinion, and I know that it's a hard opinion to form if you're not someone like me from the outside looking in. What I want to do just for this minute is I really want to acknowledge the incredible difficulty that is being faced right now through this long holiday weekend. There was a 4th of July parade this weekend that her family attended, and the messages that I got was that her family was looking around and I guess trying to gauge the temperature of the community and make sure that they weren't being looked at a certain way. And listen, everyone who knew and loved Karina Cooper, right? The recent evidence, it has to be incredibly hard to process, right? It has got to be bringing just this new wave of grief and confusion to everyone who was close to her and who has supported her and may still support her. And that's okay. It's okay listen, we're all adults in this true crime space. And the one thing that I want to maintain on my channel is that it's okay for us to talk about it. And it's also okay for us to form our own opinions and our own beliefs and still love each other through that and support the ones that need support through that. We have to do that. It's important. The actions of one doesn't diminish the grief, the loss, the confusion, the upset, the any of these emotions that are being felt by her loved ones, her friends, her community, the people that loved and supported her and continue to do so are allowed to do so. And I really want to make that clear. I get it. This is a small, tight-knit community who right now is in the public eye and being one of the members of their community, a loved member of their community, it seems, very much so. And then the victim being a very well-known and very much loved member of this community. They're in the spotlight and everyone's being dragged one way or the other. And I just want to speak to you directly if you're watching and say, it's okay. It's okay for you to feel one way. It's okay for you to feel the other way. One thing that I want to make sure I do in my space and in my community that I'm trying to build is make sure that it is a safe space for everyone, no matter which side of the fence you're on. And I want us all to understand that opinions are going to be formed, but that, it's okay for different human beings to feel different things and to lean different ways and to have different ideas and to believe different things. It's okay. At the end of the day, to all of her family and her friends who cherished her, my heart does go out to you because even today, regardless of what you still believe one way or the other, just hearing what we heard in court on Thursday has got to be incredibly hard for someone who had put all their faith in Karina. I have compassion and empathy for that, and I understand if it was my best friend, or if it was my next door neighbor that I had known and loved for years, this would be a very hard thing to be going through. And that's really all. I want everyone to know that just because my opinion of this case is leaning in one particular direction, just based on what I've heard, I am an outsider. I'm on the outside looking in. And I don't have that relationship or that knowledge or that past. And so I get that it's easier for me to form those opinions. I just want you guys to know that whichever way you're leaning, for the people who knew her and for the people who loved her, this is still a safe space. It really is. And nothing that you say, or, that, expressing how you feel here is not going to dissuade me from, at least me. I mean, it's my channel. It's not going to dissuade me from having you be a part of this conversation if you want it to be. And that I don't look down on anyone or want to argue with or fight or be angry with anyone who has a different opinion than I do. I just don't. I have a great love and compassion and empathy for all human beings, and can completely see how both sides of this are just completely torn apart at this point. I mean, I can only imagine the pain that some people right now are enduring after seeing the evidence that was presented in court this past week. And I just want you to also feel my love and support during such an unimaginably challenging time. Sometimes I'm not good with the words, but yes. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is me and Kathy have something coming up tomorrow that I am super excited about. Again, I say tomorrow, but at this point it will have already been posted. And I'll just say this. When I first started dipping my toes into the content creation world of the true crime water, I really wasn't entirely sure of what I was getting myself into. There's late night research and things that probably make my, assigned FBI agent a little concerned. And trying to figure out how to elegantly explain to my children, one of which I homeschool, why on a Tuesday night I'm researching forensic entomology. You know what I mean? Like the life cycle of bugs. I don't know. It's been a lot. And the funny thing is that all of this was stuff that I was doing before I started doing YouTube, before I started putting myself out here on this YouTube space. It was actually my 19-year-old son who was like, "Mom, you're spending all this time doing this. Like, why are you not just doing it out there? Put yourself out there." And I finally gave in, and here I am. But seriously, the influx of love and support that I have received over this past week has absolutely knocked me off my feet. It has blown me away. I got one message from Kathy, one DM from Kathy about this case with, Karina Cooper. And ever since then, all of you guys over from her channel at Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo have just shown up in droves and shown me so much love and so much support. And I've gotten so many text messages, or not text messages, private DMs, and, all that stuff, just really telling me that you're connecting with what I'm doing and that you appreciate my deep dives and, all of that. I don't know. It has meant so much to me. You guys don't even know. And, I've always felt this pull towards true crime, the kind of darker side of human nature, and not in this sensational way, but in a way that just I always want to unravel the truth. Hence my my name. And I'm always hoping to give a voice to those who no longer have one. And that was kind of the foundation of this channel. And to know that there is a community of people out there, right? You guys who are just as fascinated and just as invested emotionally in these stories and are here to talk with me about them thoughtfully. Like it just makes all of those late nights and, it just makes all of that really, really worth it. So I really just wanted to come on here and say from the bottom of my true crime loving heart, thank you. Seriously. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for engaging with me this past week. Thank you for making this so far short, but what I hope to be forever journey so incredibly rewarding even thus far. And you guys are all just so amazing. And I'm just so ridiculously grateful to be unraveling all of these cases with you. Yes. I hope that until I see you guys again, I do have a couple of deep dives coming up, new cases. We're still following Karina. We're still following the ones that I've covered previously, but a couple new cases, not so much new, but also upcoming. We'll get there. So I hope to be touching on a longer one sometime throughout this week. So I hope you guys will join me for that. It'll be interesting. But until I see you then, I hope that you stay safe. Please stay safe. And as always, keep asking questions and keep unraveling. Love you.